In the early 2000s, Mercedes Benz kind of went downhill with their cars, and especially their S Class with the W220. They kind of found their way in 2006-2007 with the W221. However, what we have here today is a new and improved version of the 221. Here we have the 2018 Mercedes Benz S450 S Class. This is the W222 body. Today I'm going to show you around this car, and I'm also going to give it a test drive, so stay tuned. Now let's start with the exterior of the W222. This thing right here just looks absolutely majestic. You have a really long hood. As with like old S classes, you still get your hood ornament, your three-pointed star, which unfortunately you no longer get with the lower end models. Your grille has also been redesigned for this facelift model, so instead of having like 4 slats on it, you get 3 slats, but they're all dual slatted each. It's a really lovely look to it. Your LED headline, now they give you like these 3 DRLs on it, and this is an easy way to tell apart the C, E, and S. So the S has 3, the E has 2, and the C has 1. Down below as well, you get 2 strips of chrome versus a single one on the pre-facelift model. Now going towards the side of the car, first thing that you'll notice here on the side is just how ridiculously long this car is. This is a long wheelbase model after all, and I know what you're gonna say. Why does it kind of look like a Genesis? Well, here's a fun fact. When the original, like the concept car of this one was created, it was actually designed by a Korean designer who, after working for Mercedes-Benz, went to Bentley and then, surprise, surprise, went to Genesis, and he's now the vice president for their design team. Hence the look of the 222, kind of similar to a Genesis. Anyway, now here on the side, again, the windows are really long because it is a really long wheelbase car. You get 19-inch rims on this one, which they do look sporty, but they're still very elegant, still very in line with the S-Class nature. You get a sloping roofline, which is just a tiny bit slopier than the outgoing 221 model. Then just, well, more chrome all over here by the side and as well as down below. If there's one thing about the S Class that I'm not a big fan of, it's gonna be the rear, because the rear of the S Class, at least here in the 222, it looks quite similar to both the C and the E Class. So from afar, if you are following this car, aside from the S450 badge, it's kind of hard to tell that it is an S Class. Not saying it's a bad thing, because it still looks absolutely beautiful and majestic back here, but yes, it has some of those C and E Class vibes. And right now back here you get triple LED lights. You unfortunately get dual fake exhaust, although there are like 4 pipes in there. You get a bigger chrome strip for this facelift model, and of course you have a power tailgate. Once you open this one up though, you do get a really huge trunk area. Unfortunately, you cannot fold the rear seats because, well, they are power seats. And when you open this one up, you do get a huge place for a lot of storage. You don't get a spare tire in this one because this already runs on run flats. Finally, you get a skid plate back here. Then if you press this one, the trunk just closes all the way and sucks itself shut. Under the hood of the S450, despite the name, you only get this 3-liter M276 bi-turbo V6 engine, making 367 horsepower and 500 newton meters of torque. This beast can accelerate from 0 to 100 in only 5.3 seconds, and since this is a facelift model, you have a 9-speed automatic transmission, also known as the 9G-tronic. Usually in the interior segment, I would start with the front seats, but since this is an S-Class in long wheelbase form, let's start from the back. Now back here, it's a palatial place to be, and everything in this car is just huge. Your space is amazing. If your space is not enough, I just press this button by the side and I can move these front seats forward. Even the recline of the front seats can be moved, and I can just like cross my legs and just chill back here. Now if I want to recline my seats, I can also do that from these switches back here. Once my seats are like fully reclined, and I can also move my thigh support forward for extra thigh support, I can finally just rest back like this and enjoy the softest pillow in the world. I can easily just doze off back here. To add to more of my comfort, I can just pull this down, and I have a couple of cubbies back here. So I get 2 cup holders. I also get 1 huge cubby over here and another one at the back. But unfortunately, this particular car doesn't have a fridge, but it is an option. Now, on the side, since I am an owner of an S-Class, what do I want? What does an S-Class owner want? I want privacy in this car. And how do I do that? There's another button over here. I pull it. the rear shade goes up. How about the window switches? A couple of interesting things with this. You press it halfway down, it goes down slow. Press it all the way and it goes down really fast. But once it is all the way up, you pull it once again, and your sunshades on the sides go up again. It's absolutely amazing. Up top, if I want to arrive in my meeting looking sharp and presentable, I have my own vanity mirror with LED lights as well. Am I going to be kept cool here in the Manila heat? Absolutely so. I have my own dual zone climate control at the back with my own air vents, not only in the middle but also here by the B pillar. Now, one more cool thing about this car is that you see this headrest by the center seat. It's also power adjustable. That's really ridiculous. I mean, that's another thing that could break, but luxury. Finally, for more cool things in this car, you also get a 64 set of colors for your ambient lighting all around the car. And you also get these nice wooden trim in dark color, plus more supple black and brown woods by the side, as well as a Burmester sound system. Just in case your chauffeur calls in sick for the day and you want to be able to drive your S-Class, you need to know how it feels like in the front seat. So first I check the door thud, but let's just make it soft close. And it closes just like that, vacuum and everything. It's amazing. Now here inside the front, it's just exactly like the back. Everything is just soft, supple, luxurious. So if you touch up here on the dashboard, it's incredibly soft. Here on the side as well, you get the same two-tone finish. You get your brown leather and your black leather, plus so much stitching and your charcoal looking wood up here. Your steering wheel, it's a 4-spoke steering wheel for this facelift model. Personally, I do not like it. I still do prefer the more classic wooden trim 2-spoke steering wheel from the pre-facelift. However, what's nice about it is that you finally get these like switches on either sides for you to control your dual 12.3-inch LED instrument cluster plus center display. Now these have these BlackBerry switches, which are kind of it's not exactly the easiest to use, but once you get the hang of it, honestly, it's not bad. The left one is for your instrument cluster and the right one is for your center screen. Your shifter, it's also this column shifter thing. Yeah, it's quite similar to what the Tesla would have. And it's not exactly the easiest to use at first, but once you get a hang of it, yeah, it's also not bad. Oddly, despite this being a huge luxury sedan, you also get paddle shifters in this car. I don't know why you're gonna need that, but yes, you do have it. It's made out of the same material as your air vents. They feel high quality, however, flicking it, you know that they are made out of plastic. Below everything, you get more of your wooden trim, that charcoal wooden trim. There are 2 cup holders in here, plus this huge velvet padded cubby for like coins not to rattle or even your phone. You have this palm rest right here, which can easily make you control your command knob right here. What's cool about the command knob is that once you reach the end of the menu, you can't turn it anymore. So it tells you that, hey, you're at the end of the menu. You're not supposed to turn anymore. So much switches back here for your car settings, your volume knob as well. You also have a button here in the center to raise or lower your air suspension, just in case we do face really high speed bumps here in Manila, especially in BGC. To the center of everything, you have this really nice armrest, which S-Class style, it opens from either sides of the driver and the passenger, and you even have a wireless charging pad inside there, as well as USB ports for you to connect to your Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. Finally, the seats in this car, they are, again, just like the back, magnificent. You don't get those really soft pillows. However, they are 12-way power adjustable for both the driver and the passenger side, plus 2-way manually adjustable, so you can move your head just forward and backwards, just in case you want your neck really forward, gooseneck style, or all the way back. One cool thing about the instrument cluster in this car is that if you put it into progressive mode, you have this thing that looks like a Porsche. So you have your tachometer in the middle, put it into classic mode, and you have the typical S-Class, elegant type of gauges. Put it into sport mode, and it's a very retro looking gauge. It's like those gauges you used to get in those US version old Mercedes Benzes. The Mercedes Benz S Class also comes with an interior fragrance air freshener system that you can control via your command system. You can also replace the scent through your glove box. This thing is an absolute masterpiece. It is absolutely exquisite and opulent feeling in here. As you drive this car, even if, well, you are the driver instead of the passenger, you will feel very happy because you still do get that beautiful magic carpet ride that you would would expect from an S Class. Now, there's one big problem with the S450. Mercedes Benz Philippines did not decide to give you the option not to have run flat tires. So if you do go over a little bit of bad roads, you do feel like thudding sounds. It goes like duk, 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 all that stuff. But if the road is clear, you just waft. You just waft along in your S Class. And if you do want to hustle this car, you can just put it into like sport mode and you just floor it in. God, oh God, okay. The car is ridiculously quick. You will not expect this from a huge sedan such as an S Class, but this thing, this S Class can do everything. It can make you feel comfortable, it can make you feel happy, and it can make you feel sporty as well. Even over these slight twisties right here, it's actually rather flat. Body roll is a lot less than older S Classes. This thing is just crazy. I don't know how they tuned the suspension for this one. But even if I take like a corner, let's take it a bit fast right now, and yes, as you exit the corner, you kind of accelerate out of it. The noise insulation in this car, the NVH, is also excellent. Even if you press the horn, you know it's loud on the outside, but on the inside, you really barely feel it. Even the braking experience in this car, it's very smooth. It's typical of Mercedes Benz's. There's no that sudden judder that you would feel with Japanese cars. This thing is just absolutely, oh, it's a joy. It's a huge joy to drive. We can't drive a Mercedes Benz, especially a flagship S Class, without talking about the hood star. And the hood in this car is quite high, so you only see around half of the three-pointed star. From my point of view, at least, since I am 5'6", and even though I raised the seat, I only see a one-pointed star, but not to worry because it still is a crosshair for me as it guides me when I arrive in a Mercedes-Benz S Class. It uses a 3-liter bi-turbo V6, and you're gonna expect a lot of turbo lag, but this one simply doesn't. I don't know how they do it again. It's more magic, and from, say we're going at 60, you want to accelerate to 100, you just floor it. Zero hesitation from the 9-speed transmission, just like that, we're doing 100. It's just instant. The powertrain combination in the S450, it's just next level thing. This thing, it's smooth, it's buttery. It's the engine of your dreams. It may not be a V12, but this is proof that modern V6s, as long as, well, they're pretty much well made, can act just like the V12s of the past. So in terms of like the speed, the power, the responsiveness, this thing is even probably better than, let's say, an S600 V12 from the W140 family. Has that classic S-Class recipe for it. It's not too sporty. It's not like a 7 Series that has just gotten sportier and sportier, probably a little bit less luxurious and comfy over the years. The S-Class remains true to the S-Class philosophy, to the philosophy that comfort is the #1 priority. Yes, there's a little bit of that tire noise coming from these quite annoying run flat tires, but the wind noise, the vibrations, the harshness, you don't perceive much of it. You're just in this beautiful large cocoon of a car that you can just glide. Unlike a lot of SUVs riding on hydraulic or pneumatic air suspensions here, such as, well, the Lexus LX, the S-Class doesn't have a tendency to crash at the rear part after a speed bump. So no matter how high the speed bump is, you just, boop, it just plops down like that ever so gently to give you an even more satisfying and refined experience. Now we do a hard launch with this. It's really incredibly fast, this S-Class. Oh God, yep. You just get pushed back to your seat, but not in a violent manner. And that's the thing with S-Classes. It has so much power, but it's all just smooth horsepower. It's a subtle rise of your speedometer from 0 all the way to upwards of 100. And this one's even electronically limited to 250 kilometers per hour. Turn off that limiter and you can go all the way. No matter the speed you're going in this car, sublime, opulent, luxurious. S-Class experience at its finest. It's quite hard to imagine just how much better the newer W223 S Class is, because as it is right now, this car symbolizes perfection. This car is the benchmark of luxury. And again, that is the same slogan they're using for the 223, but even today in 2021, this is absolutely the benchmark of luxury sedans. Now, what makes an S-Class experience the best is being chauffeured around in one. So currently, I am being chauffeured. This is an absolute joy of a place to be in. You feel royal. In case the space is not enough for you, you can simply just move the front seats by yourself and you get even more leg room. You can even move the recline. I can now cross my legs back here. I can also recline my own seats back and increase my thigh support. And it is just absolutely wonderful. If I want an armrest, I pull this down and put a couple of cups in here. If I have champagne flutes, I could probably put it here as well. If I want a little bit more privacy, I can simply just raise my rear sunshade and my side sunshade and enjoy all the privacy that I want. Now, my chauffeur, he's driving a little bit hard, and yes, I do sort of feel it. However, it's not uncomfortable in any way. It's still a very comfortable experience. You are in this cocoon beast, disconnected from the outside world, with just hearing a hint of those run flat tires, but your noise outside, it's gone. You are the most important person if you ride around in a Mercedes Benz S Class.